Welcome back to HPL. We're at the PvP Live Studios here in Frisco, Texas. I'm Tanner Grace. I'm joined by Nathan. That's Admirable Zamora, and we're at 1-1 here, going into Game 3 between Purple and Ostkaka.
Yeah, we saw Ostkaka pretty beautifully in this matchup so far.
Absolutely.
Control Warrior into Rogue is a very difficult matchup for Rogue. And
it's a nightmare.
And Purple, you know, he's shown that he will bring the same deck multiple times, even in the face of adversity. What do you think of that strategy? You can head out on Twitter and use that hashtag HPL and let us know what you think they should be queuing up here in Game 3. Tag PvP Live in that tweet as well. But we're about to head into Game 3 right now and find out exactly what they're going to do.
My money's on Druid.
You know, Druid, a big talking point in HPL so far, but we're going to find out. It's Purple versus Ostkaka is getting underway.
Oh!
Well, it's Druid versus Freeze Mage 2 here. So, you know, Purple, I think, getting, you know, he's got two favorable matchups at this point. You know, actually, the first one I wouldn't consider necessarily favorable unless he gets the right cards. So, you know, he did win that game, but this is his major favorable matchup, I would say.
Yeah, this is the one you want in this matchup. And yeah, I had to believe that Purple was taking Druid here all the way.
Yeah, there's Big Game Hunter in his deck. Mad Scientist and Acolyte of Pain for Ostkaka in his hand, though.
Great opener for Ostkaka.
We're going to see a little bit of a battle, but there's a Wild Growth and an Innervate in Purple's hand already.
Yeah, we've seen this out of the Druid decks. They just always seem to have Wild Growth, Innervate both, or combinations of, you know, one or two of each of them in all their games, and it's making Druid look amazing.
Yeah, it's by far one of the best run rates in HPL so far.
Yeah, he's going to have a great turn 4 here. His turn 3 is going to be able to keep Root of the Grove, this Mad Scientist, and the next turn after he's going to be Innervate out this Ancient of Lore if he wants. That's a ton of pressure on Ostkaka.
Yeah, you know, there's a chance you see Keeper of the Grove on the Acolyte of Pain, though, as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Deny those draws away. I mean, Mad Scientist, fantastic in this matchup, but it's not really so much of a pressure race. So giving your opponent the extra trap out of their deck, not like the worst thing in the world. You also might just see the Ancient of Lore here.
Yeah, there's a chance of some other crazy stuff as well.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to go with Ancient Lore, fill up his hand with a ton of options and make sure he can hit his curve of threats. You know, Keep of the Grove on turn 4 just to peel some away your opponent's card draw ability. Not always the best way to do it. I think the pressure is going to be worth a lot more in the long run.
So it picks up Emperor Thorthon and Zombie Chow. A little nod to the fact that Ostkaka likes to play a lot of Mage, and it's not going to be amazing in this matchup, but if you were to switch it up and do something like Mirror Entity, you need this card in your deck. Plus, it's just good against a lot of the aggressive draws that people can have, because Ostkaka did play an aggressive deck in Game 1.
Yeah, Ostkaka even realizing that the damage in this matchup does matter a little bit. You can put your opponent in positions where you don't necessarily have to win the game off the back of Alexstrasza. So these aren't favorable trades for him anyway, and kind of the onus is on Purple to do something about this, and you can see that straight away.
Yeah, and he's going to Wrath to draw a card because he has extra 2 mana over here this turn. He's going to be able to clear up this Mad Scientist using his life total a little bit as a resource here. Love this from Purple.
And he's going to go to the Dome for 5. Ice Block is going to be what Ostkaka fetched from that Mad Scientist.
It's good for him, too, because he already has an Ice Barrier as well.
His hand continues to look great, and so the second Mad Scientist will fetch an Ice Barrier, should he choose to play it that way.
Yeah, I got to believe he's going to get this Mad Scientist into play. Now, oh, that was pretty brutal for him here. He drew the second Ice Barrier, so now this Mad Scientist can only find the Ice Block, so you might not see him play it now.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's got both Ice Barriers, he needs to start getting him online, I think, sooner rather than later, and I think it's what you're going to see him do.
Yeah, you need to actually get them online pretty early in a lot of your matchups. It's really difficult sometimes when you start playing them late and you're at a low life total to really reestablish control from there, because you're always having to protect yourself every time.
Double Savage Roar in Purple's hand.
And this Emperor Thorthon, he's going to be able to push through a ton of damage over the next couple turns.
He also realizes in this spot too, he actually is going to give him the card here. I'm a little bit surprised by that he would choose to do that instead of push for damage, but he wants, I guess, to protect his Emperor Thorthon for the potential of an easy Flame Strike, while Ostkaka can also utilize his mana, so not terribly surprising to see.
No, not at all. And just getting any of these Emperor Thorthon triggers is going to be huge in this game. Purple is going to need to have a lot of big turns later to really finish this off. Ostkaka is going to make him play a very long game.
Yeah, I have to, you know, look at this board and think to myself, Blizzard's got to be good, right?
Yeah, Blizzard looks great on this board, but it's rough to leave an Emperor Thorthon around. We've seen a lot of games where players have decided to leave them around, and then the turns the other players had 2 or 3 turns down, where they're just like 0 mana this, 1 mana this, you know, 1 mana Sylvanas, and it's really hard to come back from that when your opponent can play their entire hand for like 9 mana.
Yeah, I don't think there's any problem with something like Frost Nova and Ice Lance. Whether you couple it with the Blood Mage or the Hero Power, I think that's totally reasonable as well. But Blizzard just looking so good. It's going to take you up to 30, prevent 10 points of damage. Sure, your opponent does get mana, but I think you have the kind of hand that might be able to fend off this pressure.
Yeah, you know, getting rid of the Zombie Chow right now is actually pretty good too. It does get you up to 30, and then you got your whole game ahead of you there. You're going to be at 33 going into turn 7 against Purple here.
Yeah, going to continue to play it very slow as well. Just wants more options. Ice Barrier going to keep his life total topped off. And at this point, wow, there's even a Keys and Mystic in Purple's deck. This could be disastrous for Ostkaka right now. Purple going to count up his damage. I mean, each one of these Savage Wars right now is 8 damage.
Yeah, each one of these Savage Wars is gigantic. This Keys and Mystic could be huge. What he could do is he could actually attack here, getting the ice block, the ice barrier out of the way, and then knowing that the other one is ice block, take it away from him with Keys on Mystic. You know, taking away that turn that you get late in the game that's usually the one you need to finish the game off.
I think he's going to look to find that position, you know, coming up very soon here. But Ostkaka got plenty of ways to keep himself protected after this turn. He's going to drop down a little bit lower on life now, start getting into a range where it's very dangerous every single turn. But plenty of ways to fend this off.
Like seeing him not play the big game hunter here, play around Flame Strike. Plus, you know, he does have Alex Draws in his deck, so holding on to that for that card is actually pretty good as well.
Yeah, I don't think he needs any extra pressure at this point. Blizzard's going to be the play.
He's going to isolate behind this as well.
I don't think he is going to isolate. You know,
there's a chance.
Emperor's already gotten so much value at this point. You know, what's the extra mana going to do here? And your opponent's gotten everything they wanted from this card.
Now, this is actually pretty cool here, too. He can +2/+2 his minions to play around Flame Strike here. This is a great play.
Yeah, Purple. I love seeing this. I mean, anytime you can utilize scenarios for the +2/+2 effect, it can be disastrous for your opponent.
Now, this is where this might happen. Now, Purple, if he doesn't get, you know, if Frost Nova doesn't happen from Ostkaka's turn, I fully believe it. This is what he was trying to set up. A turn like this, where he gets to Keys and Mystic and take away that ice block, and you get to really get him in the last turn because he thinks he's going to be okay, and you can really take him. That's what's going to happen at some point in time in this game. That's what you need to be looking for going forward. That's how Purple is going to win.
Yeah, I think so as well. 2 big game hunters in his deck, and Azure can continue to add pressure to this board, and even Druid of the Claw behind this. You know, not too many ways to play around Flame Strike moving forward in this spot. You know, you are going to lose a lot of minions as you do this. So how does he utilize this moving forward?
Well, I mean, he could taunt up this Druid of the Claw, but again, 2 damage will come in from the Mad Scientist, and he has a Flame Strike behind that. He'll have 2 minions left over. He'll have the Ancient of Lore and the Cenarius. So he'll still have a decent-sized board, but this forces Ostkaka to spend 7 mana on a Flame Strike this turn, and that might be something that Purple is willing to invest into. He's just doing a lot of the math here because, you know, it'll leave behind 12 power on board, and he has 2 Savage Wars in hand plus a Keys and Mystic.
I mean, always potential for disaster now that he's got this Keys and Mystic in his hand, and it looks like he's going to actually take out this Mad Scientist here, and then push for a little bit of damage. You know, coupling the charge with 2 0-mana Savage Wars as well could be disastrous.
Yeah, that's the turn. That's the turn you're looking at coming forward.
So much damage.
I'm gonna start counting this up.
For so little mana in his hand, and Ostkaka, this is going to be the first Flame Strike to help try to keep this board under control. And 5 + 4, that's 9, and then he's got 12 more from the Savage Wars.
He's a little
21 points of damage, so not quite enough just yet. Force of Nature with 2 Savage Wars.
Is this lethal?
That's lethal.
Yeah, Keys and Mystic, Force of Nature, double Savage War. Wow.
Yeah, this is just absolutely
just
massive.
Perfectly played by Purple as well.
He's going to take a 2-1 lead here. Emperor Thorson being a catalyst to major
turns. Look
at
that grin on Purple's face.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've heard him preach it along with me. I don't think that Keys and Mystic is a very strong card, but at the right times, cards like that can be executed to full effect, and that's exactly what he did here in this game, and able to take a 2-1 lead off the back of so much extra mana.
Yeah,
Emperor Thorson.
That Emperor Thorson triggered at least 3 times in the game, which is great queue up here from Purple. I fully believe that he's going to bring the Druid deck because it's just so well positioned against what Ostkaka is going to do. And if you catch him doing that Freeze Mage switch that we talked about, it's just so perfect. And that Keys on Mystic was back-breaking. He set it up perfectly through the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the danger of playing a deck like Freeze Mage, is that against well-prepared opponents who will study you, they can punish you hard for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just great in-turn there from Purple, getting to steal the ice block at the last second, then dealing, you know, 28 points of damage in 1 turn, just setting it up from turn before, turn before, turn before. Just great stuff to see from him.
Where does Ostkaka go now from this position? Purple's, you know, he had a fantastic draw in game 1 against your Hunter, had 2 Earth and Ring Farseers and an Antique Heal Bot. How do you prepare for someone that you maybe feel like is getting the better of?
Yeah, that's the problem. If he does something like switch back to aggro, it seems like Purple is inside of Ostkaka's mind going into this match. And if you do something like switch back to aggro and he switches back to rogue, he can really get you.
Yeah, if you guys want to see exactly how this match has been played so far, you can head over to pvplive.net and check it out for yourself. The strategies they played and how they played them, as well as everything in their competitive career that we have in the database, it's available there as well. You can see for yourself what their patterns and maybe who's got the edge in this matchup. When we come back, Purple's now got a 2-1 lead. Ostkaka, if he's going to put his first win on the board, needs 2 straight. Don't go anywhere, guys. Our 4th and final match of the night is going to be getting underway when we get back. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP.